In the dim glow of my laptop, the letters on the screen seemed to dance and twist into sinister shapes. "I am the devil. Ask me anything," the Reddit thread title declared, an audacious claim that would have sent any rational person scrolling past. But as a journalist with a penchant for the obscure and unexplained, my curiosity was piqued. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, skepticism and intrigue waging a silent war within me. I've always believed in the power of stories, in the truths hidden beneath layers of fiction and lies, but nothing could have prepared me for the dialogue that ensued. "Is this for real?" I typed, my question simplistic, almost naive. The response was almost instantaneous, a ping in the quiet of my cluttered apartment. "As real as the guilt you carry for what happened to Michael," it read. My heart froze. Michael, my childhood friend, had drowned during a trip we took to the lake when we were teenagers. His death was ruled an accident, a tragic mishap, but the guilt had gnawed at me for years, a secret spectre haunting my every step. How could this stranger know? "Who are you?" I demanded, my fingers trembling as they struck the keys. "I told you, I am the devil and I know everything, Alex." The reply came, chillingly personal. "I see the darkness in people, the secrets they keep, and I see the good intentions that pave the way to my realm." I should have closed the laptop, walked away, but the pull was too strong. "Give me an example," I challenged, half in disbelief, half in dread. Let's talk about Sarah, the charity worker who embezzled funds to help her sick brother. Her intentions were noble, but she ended up destroying lives, including her own. Or Tom, the cop who planted evidence to convict a man he was sure was guilty, only to discover he had condemned an innocent. Good intentions, Alex, leading to despair and ruin. The devil's example struck a nerve, a morbid fascination taking hold. The stories were twisted, yet they carried a ring of truth, of moral complexities and the dark underbelly of human nature. "And what about me?" I asked, a masochistic part of me needing to know. "You? You're here because you're searching for something. Redemption, perhaps. Or maybe just a story. But be careful, Alex. The path you're on could lead to your undoing." The threat was veiled but palpable, sending shivers down my spine. I realized then that I was no longer in control of this conversation. "What do you want from me?" I typed, my fear mounting. "Nothing more than for you to understand the nature of your reality. Everyone is capable of darkness, Alex. Everyone can be used by me, knowingly or not. It's a game of choices and consequences." The chat continued, the devil weaving tales of temptation and downfall, of people trying to do the right thing only for it to backfire spectacularly. With each example, the weight in my chest grew heavier, the air in my apartment colder. "And now, Alex, let's talk about what really happened at the lake with Michael," the devil typed, and I felt the blood drain from my face. I had never told anyone the full truth. Michael and I had fought that day, a petty argument that escalated. I had pushed him, harder than I intended, and he had stumbled back into the water. The drowning was ruled an accident, but I had always known it was my fault. "How do you know about that?" I whispered to the empty room, my voice barely audible. "Because I was there in the shadows watching, just as I've been here all along, watching you struggle with your guilt, watching you try to make amends for something you can never change." The realization that I was conversing with an entity that knew my darkest secret, that had witnessed the worst moment of my life, filled me with an existential dread. I was no longer afraid for my life. I was afraid for my soul. "What do you want from me?" I asked again, this time with a sense of resignation. "Only for you to recognize the truth of who you are, of who we all are. You see, Alex, I don't need to claim souls. People give them to me willingly, through their actions, through their guilt, through their desperation to find meaning in their chaos." The screen flickered, and for a moment I thought I saw a pair of eyes staring back at me, a glimpse into an abyss so profound it threatened to swallow me whole. "I don't want this," I typed, my plea echoing in the silence of my apartment. "But you've already chosen your path, Alex. The question is, what will you do now? Will you continue to let your guilt consume you? Or will you find a way to live with the choices you've made?" The thread went silent, the devil's presence receding as suddenly as it had appeared. I was left staring at the blinking cursor, a solitary beacon in the darkness of my own making. The encounter changed me. I couldn't continue chasing shadows, looking for stories in the dark corners of the world. Instead, I turned my focus inward, confronting the guilt and the pain I had carried for so long. It wasn't easy, and the journey was far from over, but for the first time, I began to understand that redemption wasn't something I could find in an online forum or in the absolution from a malevolent force. Redemption, I realized, was something I had to grant myself, one small act of kindness at a time. In the heart of a stormy night, I found myself navigating the twisted roads leading to the outskirts of the city. The assignment was peculiar, even for a seasoned journalist like me. An anonymous tip had led me to this secluded mansion, where a person claiming to be the devil himself requested an interview. A ludicrous notion, yet the allure of an untold story propelled me forward. The mansion loomed like a spectre, its silhouette etched against the lightning-streaked sky. Upon entering, I was greeted by a man of indescribable presence. His eyes, a deep, fathomless black, seemed to pierce through to my very soul. "Welcome," he began, his voice smooth as silk, yet carrying an underlying menace. "I'm pleased you could make it, despite the weather." Skepticism coursed through me. "Let's cut to the chase. You claim to be the devil. Why seek an interview with me?" I asked, setting up my recorder. "To share my side of the story," he replied with a sardonic smile. "Humanity has painted me as the ultimate evil, yet they fail to see how I merely play on the strings of their own making." I pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind his claims. "Give me an example." He leaned back, the shadows dancing across his features. "Consider the tale of a man who, in his pursuit of justice, decided to expose corruption within his corporation. A noble cause, wouldn't you agree? Yet, his disclosures led not to reform but to his own ruin. Unemployed and shunned, his family suffered for his morality. In his despair, he turned to me. "And what did you do?" I asked, my curiosity piqued despite my better judgment. I offered him a solution, a small compromise, a deviation from his moral path, and in return his life would be restored to even greater heights than before. But as with all deals, there was a price. "The integrity of his soul," I murmured, understanding the implication. "Exactly," he said, his grin widening. "Humanity's struggle between morality and temptation is where I thrive. I don't create evil. I merely exploit the darkness already residing within." The conversation unnerved me, yet I couldn't deny the compelling nature of his examples. We delved deeper, discussing various historical figures and events, each example a testament to the complexity of human morality. As the interview progressed, his knowledge of human nature became increasingly unsettling. Then, he touched upon something I had buried deep within my past, a dark incident that I had never disclosed to anyone. The night my ambition led me to fabricate a story, resulting in an innocent man's downfall. "How do you know about that?" I stammered, my heart racing. "I know all too well the secrets that lurk in the hearts of men," he replied, his gaze holding mine captive. "Your guilt, your fear. It's delicious." Panic began to set in. The atmosphere of the room grew oppressive, as if the very air was thickening around me. I realized then that I was not merely interviewing a madman or an imposter. The entity before me was something far more sinister. "Why me?" I asked, a sense of dread washing over me. "Why reveal yourself to me?" "Because you, like many before you, stand at a crossroads," he said, rising from his chair. The room seemed to darken even further, shadows coiling around him like serpents. "You can continue to live with your guilt, letting it consume you bit by bit, or you can make a deal. Your soul for peace, for success beyond your wildest dreams. What say you?" I felt an inexplicable pull towards his offer, a part of me yearning to be rid of the guilt that had plagued me for so long. Yet, the very essence of his being repelled me, a reminder of the cost such a deal would entail. "No," I managed to say, my voice barely a whisper. "I can't. My soul is not for sale." A moment of silence passed, heavy with unspoken threats and promises. Then he laughed, a sound that chilled me to the bone. "Very well. It's not often that someone refuses me, but it's your choice. Remember, though, I'll always be lurking in the shadows of your conscience, waiting for you to reconsider." With that, he vanished, leaving me alone in the dimly lit room, my heart pounding in my chest. The interview was over, but the impact of our conversation lingered. I left the mansion as quickly as I could, the storm outside mirroring the turmoil within me. The encounter left me with more questions than answers. Was he truly the devil, or merely a man with a deep understanding of human nature and its flaws? The distinction mattered little. The real horror lay in the realization of how close I had come to succumbing to temptation, to sacrificing my very essence for a fleeting sense of peace. I never published the interview. Some stories are better left untold, some secrets too dangerous to share. Yet, the experience changed me. It served as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between good and evil within us all, and the constant vigilance required to maintain one's integrity in the face of darkness. As I write this account, the memory of that night remains vivid, a chilling encounter that continues to haunt my dreams. It stands as a testament to the complex nature of morality, the power of temptation, and the enduring strength of the human spirit to resist the darkness, even when faced with the devil himself. In the dim glow of the streetlights, I wandered the cobblestone streets of the old theatre district, the echoes of my footsteps mingling with the whisper of a cold breeze. My heart was a reservoir of dreams of bright lights and thunderous applause. But tonight, the streets were empty, and my hopes seemed just as desolate. I had come to this city with nothing but ambition, a starting actress eager to etch her name in the annals of the stage. Yet every door had slammed shut, every audition ended in rejection. It was on this night, under a sky veiled in clouds, that my story took a turn into the realms of the unknown. I found myself standing before the grand facade of the Marlow Theatre, its once resplendent architecture now a relic, whispering tales of a bygone era. The marquee, lifeless for years, flickered to life as I approached, casting an eerie glow on the pavement. "Tonight only, a performance that will change your life," it read, a beacon in the darkness. Curiosity, that relentless siren, lured me through the doors, into the velvet darkness of the theatre's heart. The interior was a cathedral of shadows, the air thick with the scent of dust and forgotten stories. I made my way to the stage, drawn by an inexplicable force, when a voice broke the silence, smooth as silk, rich as velvet. "You seek the light, do you not?" I spun around, and there he was, a figure shrouded in darkness, save for the glint of his eyes, which held the cosmos within their depths. "I do," I replied, my voice a whisper in the vastness. "But every path I take leads only to darkness." "A common tale," he said, stepping into the light. He was impeccably dressed, his suit a tapestry of shadows, his smile a promise of secrets untold. "But what if I told you that I could give you the world? Fame, fortune, adulation. The stage would be yours, and your name would be immortalized among the stars." The offer was intoxicating, a balm to the wounds of my bruised ego. "What would it cost?" I asked, a tremor of fear threading through my excitement. "Merely a trifle," he replied, his eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. "Your soul, a small price for such grandeur, wouldn't you agree?" I should have recoiled, should have run from that place, but the poison of desperation had clouded my judgment. "Yes," I whispered, sealing my fate. The contract appeared, as if conjured from the air itself, a document of ancient parchment, inscribed with words that danced and twisted before my eyes. I signed, the ink a crimson so dark it seemed to drink the light. As soon as the pact was made, the theatre transformed, the shadows receding as if in fear, revealing an audience of spectres, their applause thunderous, their eyes empty as the void. Night after night I performed on that haunted stage, my fame growing with each performance, yet the cost was a loneliness that gnawed at my soul. My encounters with the devil became more frequent, each visit a reminder of the chains that bound me. He watched from the shadows, a patron of the arts in his own twisted way, his satisfaction evident in the curve of his smile. I sought to break the contract, to reclaim my soul from the clutches of perdition, but every attempt was met with failure. The devil, amused by my efforts, merely laughed, his voice a symphony of despair. "You belong to the stage now," he would say, his eyes alight with malevolent glee. "And through you, I will command the hearts of men." I realized then that my fate was not merely my own, but a conduit for his dark designs, a realization that filled me with horror. The applause that once fueled my spirit now echoed with the cries of the damned, each performance a liturgy in his honor. In my desperation, I devised a plan, a final performance that would be my escape or my end. I poured every ounce of my being into that show, a tale of love and redemption, of light conquering darkness. The devil, curious, took his usual place in the shadows, unaware that this performance was for him. As the final act drew to a close, I summoned all the light within me, channeling it into a single blinding moment of purity. The theatre erupted in light, a radiance so profound that it pierced the veil of darkness, reaching out to touch the souls of all who watched. The devil, caught in the brilliance, let out a howl that shook the foundations of the earth, his form dissolving into shadows, his grip on me shattered. As he vanished, the contract turned to ash, carried away by a wind that swept through the theatre, cleansing it of its haunted past. I stood alone on the stage, the applause of the spectres replaced by silence, a silence filled with the promise of a new beginning. The Marlow Theatre, once a prison of my own making, stood empty, a monument to the battle waged within its walls. I emerged from that place changed, not just a starting actress, but a survivor of a realm beyond comprehension. The lights of the theatre district shone a little brighter as I walked the streets. The weight of my pact lifted. I had faced the devil and reclaimed my soul, but at a cost that would haunt me forever. For though I was free, the echoes of that night lingered, a reminder that some doors, once opened, can never be fully closed. And so I tread the path of my dreams with caution, my heart a beacon in the darkness, a testament to the strength of the human spirit. For in the end, it was not fame or fortune that saved me, but the light within, a light no darkness can extinguish. Thanks for watching. To support us, please like and subscribe.